Welcome back to another special Patreon first episode of Across the Bifrost. I am Dr. Norbert, coming to you from an artist's retreat where we will be interacting with other similarly minded artists about their process and about their influences and just what makes them tick. And it'll be revealed very shortly why I am at this retreat. But first, let us talk to the person who masterminded this topic's episode, my dear co-host. Who are you?
Hello, I'm Jamie. I'm coming at you from an MCP fanatic's bedroom where the walls are covered in all my favorite art from MCP. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal this, Norbert, because I'm the one that sent the email. So we've got on the amazing Patrick Brown. Hey, Patrick.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hello, thanks for jumping on. So for anyone that doesn't know, Patrick Brown, you are the current, I guess, main artist or most prolific artist for Marvel Crisis Protocol, right?
Oh, yes. I've been working with them for about 5 years now. Yeah, I think it's been great.
Nice.
5 years, that means, is that release? Since released? Core box release?
Since I started, basically, jumping on board and, just been working for... It's been really good. Like it's my favorite job I've had so far. It's been amazing.
Wow. Nice. That's cool. So I'm going to assume that you haven't listened to much of this podcast. So I'll quickly fill you in on all the episodes you've missed. Basically what happens is we get a character box. We talk about all the stats on the card and then we go, oh my God, this art's amazing. Which artist is it? And we go, oh, it's Patrick Brown again. So there's been about probably 20 episodes in a row now where we've been like, oh, it's Patrick Brown again with this amazing artwork. So we have to get you on. So I'm glad you're here.
Oh,
I feel like we've finished the circle of Across the Bifrost. So yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, Jamie, so perhaps we should get started a little bit about your background, Patrick. Before you got involved with the MCP thing, can you tell us a little bit about how you became an artist and maybe what kind of work you've been doing up to this point?
Sure. Before Atomic Mass Games, I was working with Marvel and I was working with them for about 8.5 years. And it was, dream job, absolutely amazing. And the way I got into that was, it's kind of funny because I never knew that I could even get a job as an artist. I was always just doing it for fun. And doing art's been a huge hobby of mine my entire life. So, I was just
Are you suggesting though that you weren't a professional artist, meaning that was the way you made your living until you got this Marvel gig?
That's right, yeah. I was just doing it on the side. I used to be a graphic designer and that was my living. And I really enjoyed that too because it's somewhat creative. But my true passion is art. So, from an early age, I would say from 16 onwards, I was really trying to hone in on the art, I guess, more and I even touched into digital art and I just went from there. So from 20 onwards, it really I started to share it online more. So basically, I was really into fan art, anything that I loved, video games. I'm a huge gamer, love movies, TV shows. I would draw it. So it really gave me an excuse to kind of try and do a new picture, and that would be like a stepping stone almost to growing as an artist, I suppose. So, by the time I, with my graphic design job, which I was working for at my local newspaper, and I was the main graphic designer there, and it was. I was actually really lucky because for some reason that job, especially when I started, allowed a lot of free time and. The graphic design work alone, and there might be 2 or 3 hours worth, but then the rest, like 5 hours, instead of just sitting there, maybe Googling or go on the internet or something, but I would actually draw and I would be like, okay, I'm just going to start drawing. And that's when I started to hone my skills more. Very thankful for that because I know a lot of people who are passionate about art have full-time jobs and they don't get that opportunity to have that much time into it. Anyway, and then Marvel.
By the way, let me quickly interrupt you.
Sorry,
starting out in a newspaper is like the most superhero origin story ever. By the way,
Such a good point. You're like Peter Parker.
Yeah, your boss is like, draw me pictures of Spider-Man.
That's hilarious. I've never thought of it like that. It really was like a second family as well. We were really close. A great team. And I worked the night shift, so it was like all the suits would go home, and then us designers and everyone would put the paper together and have a laugh, and it was really good. But
Patrick, can I ask, was this drawing line drawing with pen and paper or something, or were you just doing it digitally?
A bit of everything. So I would actually sketch on pencil and paper. An entire sketch until I'm happy. I would scan that into the computer, and then I would start doing like the black outlines and the inks on the computer. And the Examiner, the newspaper that I used to work for, they're called the Examiner, and in Tasmania, great newspaper. And they had that's the first time I learnt how to use a graphics tablet, like the pen on the digital surface, and it all took off from there. That really just amped things up for me. And anyway, 8 years later, working for the paper is when Marvel contacted me, because I would put my work out, I would share it online all the time. And it just caught the right eyes, thankfully. And they offered me a role. I actually thought it was a scam at first. I was like, this can't be real. But it was, and it took off. And that was very scary because I had to quit my job and work from home and dive in the deep end. So,
So
And
how does that work? Is that like you're now on our artist roster? You work full time, or do they kind of just throw things at you when they need them?
Yeah, and then what are we talking about? Is this like to do film panels or something like that? I forget what they call that, where they sketch out a film.
Concept art stuff.
Yeah, or is it for the comic books? Like what aspect of Marvel are we talking about?
Oh yes, it was more of the kind of art that you might see on boxes in like shops, like toy packaging, T-shirts, or kids' backpacks, all that kind of stuff. They would launch waves of anything. So I did like the entire Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like the cartoony kind of style. Comic art, I suppose you could say, and that would go on all the packaging for all the toys and things, and Spider-Man as well. So that was very exciting for me because I'm a huge Spider-Man fan.
Nice.
And I got to do the Spider-Man it was based off the TV show that was being released, the recent season, animated show, and this was back in about 2015 onwards, so 2016. That one, I think it's. So but that was very exciting because I got to actually throw my style into it and do a lot of things creatively as well. So there was some concepts here and there, but the studio at Marvel were absolutely amazing. They actually had a studio team that did most of the concepts there, but it was great to be able to really get into that. Yeah, so many different things, different projects here and there.
Where were you posting your art that maybe you can give other people some tips about, like where you think you had the most visibility?
It used to be, it started off on DeviantArt, and that was great. And then it kicked off with, I'd say, my Facebook fan page, and then Instagram as well is probably the biggest at the moment. So, and that's where I get most of the following, and I can connect with everybody. It's been great. So,
did you have any interest or maybe some daydreaming about becoming a comic book artist? So actually drawing panels, or is that that storytelling aspect not really what you do?
I have thought about it before, but it's kind of a whole different world for me because I know other artists that have done it, and it's very time consuming. And I think that I enjoy single pictures more, like an entire piece that's all put together. And I think that I'm not quite sure if I would be as passionate about comics. To be honest, I don't think I know I can do it, and it is very exciting for me. But I think it would be a bit too much for me. Yeah, to be honest.
As I understand comic books, though, the covers are usually done by a separate artist, not the artist who does the work inside, and it's just a one-off essentially. I'm sure that'd be something up your
that's right. Yeah. I did. I did do a bunch of comics for Marvel as well. That was another great part of working with them. And I used to do the covers for the Brian Bendis, Miles Morales, Spider-Man comics, and I did about 20 or 21 covers. It was a long series running, and it was great. And then so that was really cool. So I actually got to do the covers for those, and the art inside's different. So
amazing.
That was super cool.
And your background, I mean, you said you're a big nerd when it comes to geeky culture, but was your art prior to this focused on superhero art, or at least, or even more specifically, Marvel superhero stuff, or is it broader than that?
I'd say, much broader. I definitely did a lot of Marvel art, but I would say most of my old fan art that I used to do is a lot of video game art, mostly, probably 80% maybe of video game art, I would say. Yeah, just a big gamer. But a lot of Spider-Man, a lot of everything like that. Venom, I love drawing Venom. And I was lucky enough to, when I was working with Marvel, and they had me do a Venomized series. So I was the Maximum Venom, I think. And they turn all the superheroes into symbiote versions of themselves. It was really fun. Yeah. Super exciting.
There's a game mode in Marvel Crisis Protocol where you can have that happen, sort of. So it's
that's really amazing.
Fun. It's one of the best ones they made, actually.
It's great.
That's cool. Game. And the best part about working with Atomic Mass Games is like, I've been doing mostly Marvel stuff with them. I do a lot of different things, but Marvel, it's been super exciting. I love it so much. Yeah.
Let's round off what you were doing. So you said you were working with Marvel, the studio, for about 8 years, you said?
That's right. Yeah. And then when COVID hit, things kind of died down a little because they kind of paused everything for a little while. Everyone went on lockdown. So, and then things kind of shifted after that. I was trying to just reach out to different companies just to try and get by, and as a freelance artist. So, and that's when, Atomic Mass Games gave me an opportunity, and it kind of kicked off from there. And it's been very busy since. So, and now it's one of their main artists. It's been great doing Marvel Crisis Protocol. Is just it's a really cool game.
Can we say so that you didn't have any contact with the studio before? It was a cold reach out to you, essentially. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, they came to me, offered me some work, and wanted to know if I would like to do some art for them. So,
had you known about the miniature wargaming hobby?
Had I known about Atomic Mass Games before that? Do you mean?
Oh, or just the hobby, the type of game that they make? I mean, is that something you're familiar with?
I had heard of, like tabletop gaming and things like that. I had heard of it. Yeah, I'm not too familiar mostly, but I did know about it a little bit here and there, and they explained that to me. Exactly what it was, and even sent me a big Marvel Crisis Protocol pack. Like I got a box sent to me. It was really cool. And me and my son were like setting it up a little bit here and there. So it's great to have a hands-on look at it also.
Yeah. Cool. So, all right. So here you are. You've got your first assignment. And I guess they give you a couple of testing pieces. So maybe you could talk a little bit about... we'll talk about the process in a moment, but maybe you could talk about how the relationship began and how it seems to have warmed up to the point where you may be their main, if at least one of the main artists that they use.
Yeah, great. It's been so basically, it started off with just doing character after character, and for the games, and as you know. There is, for each character, there'll be an injured side and a healthy side, for the cards. So that's another thing I always keep in mind as well. So every time I'm going to assign a character, it's basically times 2. So and that's really fun because I set out, they pick, 2 poses. I'll set out like a sheet of just rough sketches and pose options basically, and then they'll pick 2 of them, which is really cool. But yes, I've been doing a lot of that recently, and it's just kind of been nonstop here and there, and just over time, I think. As I've been doing it so often, and my art, even working for this company, it just keeps, you keep growing, I suppose, as an artist, and that it just helped kind of cement me more into the style, I think, or just because it was so, I started to get used to it and understand their ways. We have certain ways of doing lighting and edge lighting and colorization of the shadows and things like that, which is a kind of a unique style for Crisis Protocol. So yeah, it's
so you're saying that there's a somewhat of a house style that they asked you to try to adapt your art to?
Definitely, but it's kind of originally mostly for my stuff. It's been locked into my style basically. So they kind of, I think they kind of hired me for my style, and then we adapt to that. So I've kind of been learning from the beginning what they need as well. They some requests like, and it was very cool because I've learned so much working for the company as well, and it's helped improve things. Little things like if I was doing, say, skin tones and such, or shadows, I would start to just put a little hint of purple in the shadows, which was really cool. And I'd never really tried that before. And edge lighting, like a little pop on the side of a character just to make the character pop. And they would be like, let's make that like a purple one, something kind of crazy, And I really loved that kind of stuff. So it's kind of been evolving as we're going. And yeah, it's been really cool. Just kind of setting the style and locking it in, and running with that.
You mentioned just now as well the healthy and injured side aspect of it. That must be quite fun as an artist to be able to almost have 2 takes at character. I really enjoyed your injured side. I'm thinking of a few characters like Angela and Doctor Strange and X-23. They're not just like with a bloody nose. Like they also come back with like a different kind of like determination in them. And we've noticed that, right, Norbert?
Yeah, very much so.
Great.
Yeah.
Really cool.
We find that you seem a bit more emotive. I find the injured side to be a bit more, have a more emotional attachment to it somehow than the healthy sides.
Which is great for the game as well. It's like perfectly in tune with the rules. I don't know if that's even conscious, because the way the game works is when you flip, you come back all powered up and ready to do more stuff.
Great.
So it actually works with the game really well. But yeah, that's just something we've noticed. It's not just like, now they've got a black eye and, it's like there's a different color to it.
I do think of that. It's funny you say that because, as I'm drawing those, and I'm always keeping that in mind, and I do bring across personality or some kind of essence. I like to, have them more slumped over or, just that expression on the face to bring that across a little bit more. And that's really fun for me. And then the hero side, the healthy side will be more heroic and or a lot stronger in demeanor kind of thing. So
cool. So we should go into the process a little more now then. So you mentioned that you make a bunch of sketches and kind of here's some poses, and you kind of give that to AMG. Do they give you any kind of brief at the start? Okay, we want you to do Angela. Do they say what she should look like, what she should be doing, or is it kind of up to you?
No, it's kind of very broad in a good way. It's very freeing almost. It's you get assigned the character, whether it's say Doctor Strange or something or other, and that's kind of it. It's like, okay, here you go, and I'll get some references so I know what their suit looks like and everything involved, and it would be, it's really just it from there. It's like I will then take that and just lay out a sheet and just do gestures, very rough. Once I have 15 to 20 different poses that I really like I like to throw a lot of energy into them. I've always been big on adding energy into characters, as in like flow, a little bit of pop. And and then I'll send that off with all numbered, and then I'll get I'll get something back and a couple of choices, and we'll kind of run with that from there, which is, really fun. It's kind of exciting once I send that off and I wait till the next day and I get to know, which ones are they going to pick? Because I have a few favorites sometimes,
Yeah.
So you're in Tasmania, correct?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so
Tasmania.
how does that work with the time difference? Because they're on the west coast of California or the United States. So how is it? Are you behind them then still, or are they in front of you?
I think I'm in front by 12 hours, I believe.
Oh gosh,
And,
okay.
Yeah, so and I think it's kind of like, say, my 9 o'clock in the morning would be probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon for them, I would say. In
Okay, so there's some overlap
yeah.
to have some live discussion.
Yep. We have a lot of calls and connect. It's very good. We have a great friendship as well, and it's been really good.
Jamie, you want to carry on then in your process? Questions?
Actually, just speaking of friendship, you just reminded me of something. Actually, are you aware that Will Schick has your Spectacular Spider-Man tattooed on him?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You didn't know about this?
He's very proud of it, and
Yeah.
we should talk about that because that has got to be one of the most iconic pieces of art that exists in the game so far. And just where did that come from? The upside down thing. It's just chef's kiss. It's so good. Was that your initial idea, or was that given to you, or how did that come about?
I was because I am very passionate about Spider-Man. That's my number one favorite superhero. I'm a big Marvel fan. And so when I was assigned that one, I was super excited. And as usual, I would put out a bunch of pose options, and I probably spent a little bit of extra time. And I remember I was really glad when that one was picked, and it kind of went from there. So I came up with that upside down pose, and went with that. And I would spend a lot more time just getting into it, and the details, super fun. And it was cool because it was like I could push, the creativity a little bit when it comes to the suit. I could kind of make it my own Spider-Man a little bit, like when it comes to proportions and things. Overall, it does just look like generic, the usual Spider-Man. But I like to just add that tiny little hint of something that's my own, whether it's the way the webbing is designed on the suit or the eye shape and things like that. So, and just having my style into it was really, it was great to be a part of that.
On Star Wars Shatterpoint, I know that they make a point of they'll pick a character like, say, Mace Windu, and they'll be like, okay, so there's the Clone Wars art style, then there's the Samuel Jackson art style, and for Shatterpoint they basically have a sliding scale of like where on that scale it fits. Do you have anything like that for Marvel characters? Do they say like, okay, this needs to be somewhere between Tom Holland and this comic book art?
Oh yes, not too much. It's like a they'll let me know if there is something specific. If it, I'm pretty sure that I have to stay away from any movie likenesses. So that's the main thing. But then, and so I'm kind of probably am leaning more into the comic look more, but I also get to, so let's say if I'm doing a character, let's say Thor or something like that, and, I can kind of, we have the mini figure or anything like that, and I could actually, push the designs or the concept a little bit in my, the way I like it. So I can do exactly the figure. I hope I'm explaining it well, but I am allowed to add a little bit more flair, whether it's just the seams on the suit or something that you might not see on the figure. So I can kind of enhance the details more. Do you know what I mean? Similar to how the MCU, I suppose, would design a comic accurate suit. How they kind of push it a little more and make it a little modernized, or just and it's kind of looks very modernized. So I like to add a little bit of that to my suits as well, which is really fun to do. But overall, from a distance, it still looks comic accurate. So
Patrick, do they send you a sculptor, have pictures of the sculpture already before you start the artwork part of it? I don't know the timing of that.
Yeah, sometimes. Mostly references, whether it's of a reference from maybe the comic version, and like this is the suit we want, or whether it's a like an old character redo, and like here's the old art, we need to revamp it or something like that. Yeah.
But that's the 2D art. I'm talking about the actual figures. Do they show you the figures and the way they sculpted them as part of the creative process?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have like a photo of the minifigure. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That sometimes, yeah.
Huh.
Not all the time. Only when it's really needed, I suppose. Yeah. For like I could turn it around or have a look at how the back is. Some references don't show, that kind of thing. So they are handy to have. Yeah.
Mm. What would you say is the most difficult part of doing this job?
The most difficult is definitely probably time. So there is a lot to do in a short amount of time. Yeah, that's probably the hardest part. And the other part would probably be just making sure it's like keeping up the quality. I can't drop the ball. Basically, I have to make sure that every character art is top quality. Which is kind of fun. It was a little daunting at the start, but it's you get used to it, and now it gives me drive. It's great to have something to aspire to. And
that's the thing, right? We try and kind of remind ourselves of that on this podcast, is that every Marvel character is someone's favorite Marvel character. So you gotta make sure that even if a character you've never heard of is being drawn or played, you have to be like, someone's gonna love this.
That's another thing that I really like as well, is getting a character that I don't know and drawing it, because it's something that I probably never would have chosen, and then I'm like, I really enjoy it. And then I'm always really happy by the end. I'm like, this was so much fun, don't really. And going into, having to look at the character traits, their personality, what are their powers, and learning more about them. I like doing that kind of stuff too.
Sounds like pretty fun research, to be honest.
Yeah. Seriously.
To be prepared.
Yeah. I felt that way with when I first joined the game. When I first started playing, Angela was in the game, and I was like, who's Angela? I don't care about Angela. And then obviously started to play her because she's strong in the game, so I'm a sellout and I'll go play her. And then with the new artwork, it makes me just want to care about it. And we just did an episode about it. We're looking up her origin story, and it's like all these things, it's all part of like what feeds into it. And so now suddenly I like Angela as a character, and your artwork is part of that equation, So it's really cool to see that every character gets
awesome.
The same amount of love. It's important.
Speaking of which, Patrick, is there any talk about making the artwork available as prints or anything like that?
No, I don't. No, there's not really much talk about actually, turning them into full pieces or anything like that. It's, the job's usually just about, I always have to make sure they're kind of vertical in proportion. Like I would never do a pose that's horizontal, but mainly just because I know that it's going to end up on a card. There's only the odd occasion when I would have the odd project where it is for a piece. It's happened once or twice, and I believe I could talk about the Odin piece, which was up at one of the conventions there, big wall banner. Odin and his ravens, and that was a giant piece. Yeah, that was so much fun to do.
Yeah, there was some obviously Norbert and I know this game inside and out because we do this podcast and all the cards and stuff. We know everything about it. I went to what was it? UK Games Expo. And the Atomic Mass Games booth had an enormous landscape, kind of hero shot of a bunch of teams fighting that I'd never seen before. I was like, what the hell? How does this exist? And I don't know about this. I think it was like X-Men, versus someone, Brotherhood maybe. But I was like, this is amazing. And so, there's so much artwork that's going on in this game that even we don't know about. So we need to try and hunt all those down.
Wow.
It's worth saying though, Patrick, you do sell prints on your website, right? Of other art, maybe non-MCP art, but...
That's right. Yeah, I do a lot of my personal art as well, because I still keep it up. I run a Patreon myself, and I like to just do a lot of my own personal art, and I record all the video processes and such. So I do. I have a lot of I put a lot of my art out there, full Photoshop files for people, or it's and that's through the Patreon. But on my website, it'd be more like full pictures that you could get high quality and things.
Yeah,
I'm still
our
keeping it
producer Hannah just became a Patreon of yours.
Oh, really?
So,
That's great.
Also a big fan. So
that's awesome.
We should talk about that actually. So you do kind of like, I guess, tutorials, guides on Patreon and YouTube. Do you want to talk about that?
That's right. Yeah, I set that up a while ago. Actually, probably around the same time of 2020 when COVID happened, and it kicked off from there. And that was my own. Yeah, it's kind of my own business. I treat it like an art class, basically, where but it's more set out for a lot of video tutorials. I have an entire library, over 100 tutorial videos. People can just get straight into and start learning. All the way from sketch gestures to line art, colors, the entire process of what I do day to day. So, and I'm always making new pictures for myself as well. Most recently, I did a Baldur's Gate 3 Karlach piece.
Oh, cool.
So, working on that at the moment. Yeah, it's fun.
That's great. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So, Patrick, what advice could you give to younger artists when it comes to trying to pursue a career like this? I mean, should they just work in a newspaper until they get the call?
Well, it's always important to treat it as a real passion and something that you can be close to. So, and I think the key is to always share your work and don't be shy. You know, if you don't think it's good enough, or put it out there for the world to see, because it really does. It's a good way to get eyes, and it also is a good way to slowly build a following as well, because there are people out there that really enjoy your work. And that's what I used to do when I started off. I wasn't, very good at digital art. I was practicing and kind of training myself, self-taught. And every time I finished, I would just put it up there. I didn't really mind what it looked like. And that helped build the following from nothing all the way to a couple of years on DeviantArt doing that. And it went up to 100,000 followers or so after a few years, I think. Could have been 4 or 5 years of just constant. And I think that's the key as well. If you're constant and you're always putting content up, like just art, people like that when they know that it's flowing. And I think that's the key. And just give yourself a reason to draw. Fan art is a good one for that. Find what you like and draw it, and it keeps it fun as well. It really does make it a passion. So,
how do you think sorry, please continue.
You're right. Go for it.
Well, how do you think your style has evolved then over the time that when you started doing this to where you are now?
Definitely, I would say it's evolved to be maybe more refined. I did used to have more of a, when I was a bit younger, it was a more cartoony style, a little more, slightly more wacky, a little more leaning into the Looney Tunes stuff. I really enjoy that kind of stuff. That's probably where the energy comes from and the flow. I really love that. And then, so now from my early 20s onwards, I started to refine it more. I wanted to get better proportions. I was inspired by artists like Ryan Otley, Humberto Ramos, worked with Marvel. He did Spider-Man. And they really were like big inspirations of mine they inspired me. I wanted to be kind of similar to that. And so I started to, shape up my proportions more. And I really enjoyed that more. So that's kind of where it started to evolve more. And I guess overall must have been more appealing for companies like Marvel to want to get at. I guess if I had more cartoony style, it might be more of a, maybe would have been into Ren and Stimpy kind of, or something like that kind of thing. But so find what you are aiming for, I guess, is a good one. Yeah, your style. Find a style that you enjoy.
Maybe we'll wrap up then with one last question about your influences. Who would you recommend people take a look at after they finish browsing all of your art, of course?
Oh, yeah, sure. David Finch is one of my big inspirations as well. He's a great artist. He inspires me with line art and the black shadows in inking, I guess. And just his proportions and anatomy are amazing. And Ryan Otley as well is my probably my biggest inspiration. He's the artist for Invincible, and I love the a bit of the darker side as well, a bit of the blood and that kind of stuff and edginess. But also he's very good at, the way he structures his characters really inspired me. And and Umberto Ramos, he had that energy. Like it did get a little bit more wacky. Like when he did Spider-Man, it was a lot more loose and free and stretchy almost. Every character was always rubbery, and I loved that. So that was a big inspiration as well.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Invincible art now, and I can totally see you in it. I can see this.
Oh
now.
yeah,
it's great. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, he's a great artist. Yeah, big inspiration.
Patrick, we are thrilled that you gave us some of this time. It's so fascinating. Not being an artist, it's so fascinating to hear things that you probably think are not very important or interesting at all, are actually very interesting to somebody like me. And so I think our fans would be feeling the same way, especially because they look at the end result and love it so much, but don't realize, just how much goes into it and where it all came from. So this exploration with you has been really a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Cool. All right. So remember that you can sign up to Patrick's Patreon as well. We'll put a link in the description of this. Producer Hannah is already a member, so go join her. You can get some art classes and learn how to do stuff the Patrick way.
Oh, great. Yeah. Thanks so much. And I'm always posting on Instagram as well. That's where I mostly put a lot of the Atomic Mass Games characters once I'm allowed to share. I put them up there. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Yeah.
What's your handle?
It'd be Patrick Brown Art on Instagram.
Brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes then as well. Perfect. All right, Jamie, should we call it then?
Yes, let's call it. Thanks, Patrick.
All right. And thank you
to
And thank you to all our Patreon members for helping support us and making something like this happen. It's a really special episode, and it was all due to them for allowing it to come to be. So thank you very much. And until next time, cheers and happy gaming.